This video provides a step-by-step TCG deck build for an AlHaitham Burn team with Raiden, Shogun, and Thoma. The goal of this deck is to use the character bursts as fast as possible and create long durations of on-field elemental reactions for Haitham to work with. The deck also enables Haitham to defeat multiple characters in a round, as well as provide him with several dice to keep using his attacks back-to-back. This deck has been tested in the Arena of Champions and can defeat a majority of the TCG NPCs with ease. The video is divided into several chapters, so use the timestamps for your convenience. I added several showcase videos in the end, so you should be able to find a preferred enemy showcase timestamp. Deck building. Let's start by having a look at the abilities of the characters we will make use of in our TCG deck. Firstly, we have Raiden's skill, which generates an electro summon that will provide electro at the end of every round. Furthermore, while this summon is on field, characters' bursts deal +1 damage. Ideally, we want this summon to be on field for as long as possible to facilitate elemental reactions and add damage to the several bursts this deck relies on. To make best use of this in our Haitham team, we'll add a quick knit card to increase the usage of the summon. Next, Raiden's burst will provide the other two characters 2 energy. This allows us to quickly use our burst to set up pyro and dendro application for Haitham. Since all characters in this team will use their burst several times, we can also make use of Raiden's passive, which gives her 1 point of resolve for every other character's burst. Each point of resolve can then be consumed by her talent card, which will increase her damage by 1 for each point of resolve she has accumulated. This can be used towards endgame for the highest possible damage, which is +3. For Thoma, we'll mainly focus on his burst, since it'll provide Haitham with 2 uses of +1 pyro damage for each normal attack he does, along with 1 shield point. Since this deck focuses on maximizing duration of elemental reactions, Thoma's talent card can be added to the deck. This talent card increases the pyro usage by 1, so we can have 3 stacks instead of the usual 2 when Thoma uses his burst. For AlHaitham, we'll focus on his bursts and normal attacks. Since the deck facilitates multiple bursts, we will add Adeptus Temptation Food, which increases burst damage by 3. For normal attacks, we can add Light of Foliar Incision, which generates 1 Omni Dice for every normal attack and adds +1 damage. We don't need to worry about the aligned element cost of the card, since we have 2 Inazuma characters, which allows us to use a card that converts all dice to Omni Element. And lastly, we will add Minty Meat Rolls, which allows us to reduce the cost of normal attacks, so Haitham can do multiple hits in a single round. In summary, with all our main cards in the deck, it should look something like this. Long duration of on-field elemental reactions by Quick Knit and Thoma's talent card. Increase of damage for Haitham's burst with Adeptus Temptation and Raiden's on-field summon. Increase rate of and damage from Haitham's normal attacks through Lo-Fi, the food, and Thoma's burst. Aligned elements are not an issue with the Inazuma card. And finally, Raiden's passive is put to use with her talent card. Shout out to Nugget Ratios for helping me create this visual. Now that we picked the main cards to meet the deck goal, we need other cards to help facilitate this deck. The cards I chose are as follows. Low cost artifacts to pull cards when damage is dealt, as well as allow 1 HP heal at the end of the round. 2 Favoni's Cathedrals for healing, Day of Resistance Arcane card for protection. Since the deck relies on a build-up and we need to ensure that the characters don't die before we can establish it. These are good cards for the first hand. I added Timmy to generate dice around the 3rd round for when Haitham ideally will be on field, Undersea Treasure for dice, and more heals. It's best to aim for a Timmy card in the first hand. I added 2 energy cards to help lower the cost of Raiden's first burst and simultaneously allow for a more expensive build-up elsewhere. It can also be used for other characters in case Raiden's burst is hindered. Catherine for fast switches, although I would recommend adding another Catherine to the deck so the probability is better to play her. 1 Arana to collect unused dice, Arcane card to generate dice if I haven't already found a necessity for the Day of Resistance Arcane card. To ensure you pull talent cards, you can use the Goba Arcane card. I would also recommend adding Haitham's talent card, which allows his Chisel Light Mirrors to constantly remain for matches that are drawn out. Tevat Fried Eggs for some clutches, and finally a Kokomi card to pull more cards. Now let's have a look at the strengths and the weaknesses of this deck. Because the damage the deck deals is split instances instead of 1 heavy blow, you can defeat characters that depend on revives like the Abyss Lectors and Signora. Due to diverse elemental characters, even when a character dies, the remaining can still do elemental reactions. Thoma provides a shield for every normal attack his burst is connected to, which is great for protecting Haitham while he is the active character. The energy cost is low and the dice generation as well as aligned element is easy to obtain in this deck. Another strength of the deck is that it has 2 Inazuma characters, which allows the use of a powerful Inazuma card. The deck deck is able to defeat almost every TCG NPC in Teyvat with all the criteria accomplished, as well as able to get a high win rate in the Arena of Champions. On to the weaknesses. And as we discuss the weaknesses of the deck, I'll be giving suggestions for how to combat them. The biggest weakness of the team is that an ideal scenario heavily relies on the build-up. This means that the team is vulnerable to freeze teams, animo characters, and overloads that mess up or slow down the process. But this can be combated by simply tweaking the playstyle a bit. To some extent, it can be fixed by adding more swaps into the deck, but even if you don't change out the deck, you can work around it. Such matches have been added to the showcase videos section 2.2 and section 2.4. The second weakness is when the off-field characters take too much damage before their turns. This can be fixed by food that provides shield for all the characters on your side. As you can see that while AlHaitham defeats most characters, due to his on-field time, he also ends up taking the most damage. Mitigating as much damage as possible is ideal for his turn. A showcase for this is in part 2.3. The third weakness is probably a meta deck. This can be fixed by praying the opponent presses concede, and if you're playing against a kaveh deck, it can be fixed by sitting in the same room as the kaveh TCG player so that you can beat them with your Casket of Tome. But hey, don't worry, with Hoyo, today's meta is tomorrow's nerf. Okay, but to really fix it, most of these meta decks rely on card pulling or discarding. So I'd suggest using Forbidden Knowledge cards in your deck to reduce the pain to some degree, or using the Arcane Legend that gets rid of elemental effects from your characters. Showcase 2.5 and 2.3 show the deck defeating the Fire Crab and Kaveh deck respectively. If you have suggestions for other suitable cards to enhance this deck, then share your ideas in the comments.
The campaign begins. Shine down! Absorption test! The campaign begins. Now you shall perish!
A moment, please. Where are we headed this time? A moment, please. Here's backup! Yes?
Scatter! This could get a little chilly. Ugh! Instead of going big, guess I'm going home. Where did I go wrong?
Enhanced Animal Module 75!
I couldn't save everybody.
Diffract!
My research has failed. Stay close and you will live. Illusion shattered!
Where are we headed this time? Fire it up! check this out! I got you covered!
How long will this require exactly? Flicker.
Rain Cutter! I am outplayed. Stay close and you will live. Illusion shattered! Sakura swirl! Inazuma shines eternal!
Pardon my indiscretion.
The thunder!
Where are we headed this time? Supporting fire!
My contract goes unfulfilled. Shine down! Not now. Now you shall perish. Not now.
Where are we headed this time?
My guiding stars!
I got you covered!
My guiding stars! This is just a dream. Stay close and you will live.
Check this out! Where are we headed this time? I got you covered!
Yes.
Fire it up! I couldn't save everybody.
The campaign begins. Illusion shattered! Inazuma shines eternal! The thunder falls silent.
Where are we headed this time? Here's backup! Check this out! I couldn't save everybody.
Yes. Diffract!
Stay close and you will live.
Let me scry!
I guess the housework can wait.
Scanning.
Fire it up!
Stay close and you will live.
Sight clear.
The thunder falls silent.
I guess the housework can wait. Don't get too close! Here's backup!
How long will this require exactly?
Here you are.
My reckoning has come.
Breaking new ground! A process of elimination.
Beauty! Don't believe me.
I miscalculated.